All right, Deacon Denno here at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. Walk us through your week here.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy week. It's been awesome, practice day. First practice, I felt awful, honestly. I was like, what am I doing out here? And then, picked it up second practice and carried that momentum into the first moto. Came out swinging first moto, led most of the moto to the last 3 laps, hit a lapper, had a pretty big mistake, and Owen caught up to me. Heat got to me a little bit, so I had to take a breather lap, and then the last lap tried to put a charge in to get him, and unfortunately didn't get him, but we were close. So P2 the first moto, and then after that I was pretty fired up because I wanted to win. So second moto, or first moto of Schoolboy 2, came out swinging, won that one, and then after that we went into the second moto of 250B, won that one again. And then Schoolboy 2, we had an early morning moto because of the weather delay on whatever day that was.
Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday, yeah. And they moved us to 7 a.m. in the morning, so first moto. And I spun bad off the start, or I did my sight lap start, and I was like, oh crap, there's a hole coming out of my gate because they just filled the dirt over the ruts, and I didn't realize it was going to be like that. So when I came back, I saw a hole, and sure enough, I hit that hole on my actual start, and spun pretty bad. I think I came out 25th over the line, worked my way all the way up to second, almost passed her first to last lap, and saved my championship in that class. And third moto 250B, I was a little nervous, I'd say. I don't really know why, because I knew I was the fastest guy coming into there. I mean, I don't know, I guess just championship nerves. Everyone gets them, all the pros. I bet even Hayden Deegan, the fastest guy right now. So, I was nervous coming into it, but dialed in my start, pulled the whole shot, or something like that. I came out top 3, I think, and got out front, put in my laps, and pulled a pretty big gap in that moto and brought it home for the championship. And then, Moto 3 today of Schoolboy 2. A bit of a rough moto for me. Came out second out of the first turn, and then made the pass to the lead second turn down the straightaway. And rode up front for a couple laps, and bike just wasn't there. My suspension wasn't there. I wasn't comfortable, and so I tried to charge in front of Carson, and I couldn't. I got pumped up second or third lap. Bike was awful. I was trying my best to manage it, and I couldn't push that hard. So I had to kind of let Carson win that one, which it's not what you want to do, but I gotta focus on the championship and play it safe. I didn't want to do anything stupid. And Will didn't let me go either. He was right there behind me for a couple laps, and then finally I put in a couple good laps and figured out some lines and figured out how to ride the bike at that pace, and pulled a decent gap and brought it home for 2 championships this week, and crazy week.
Yeah, so you mentioned the bike setup. Was it the same thing as like been running all week, or was it just the track was a little bit different, so you weren't quite comfortable, or what?
It was practice day. We made a couple adjustments because it was off. It was off on practice day, and first moto it was off too. We adjusted it back to what we had on practice day because we adjusted a little bit after the second practice, and we adjusted it for the first moto. It didn't work, so we adjusted it after the first moto, and then I've been running with the same setup since Moto 1. And the track today wasn't anything like the track it's been all week. There wasn't very many bumps. They were really small bumps, really chattery, really fast track today. So you're coming in fast to small bumps, and the bike just it wasn't holding up. The front end was kind of all over the place, and that's what caused me to pump up. Felt a little stiff out there. So I had to figure out how to work through that, and I did that, and brought it home.
Nice. You mentioned the early moto. How many early motos have you had? Was that strange to have such an early one at the ranch here?
Actually my Super Mini year I was first moto, so I got second in my Super Mini year first moto. And really first motos here at Loretta's, you just gotta send it, you gotta let it hang, and just send it as hard as you can. Pretty much there's not much out there to do. It's really deep, really well, actually it wasn't flat, it was really deep. There was like 1 or 2 ruts around the track, so I had to make quick work or else the front pack was going to get away, and that's exactly what I did, and just sent it.
And then I think you had I can't remember now off the top of my head who has it, but I know at one point you had one of the fastest laps of the week.
I still do, running I think 48.0, in that early morning moto, so that helped me out
Okay,
for
there you
sure.
go.
But yeah, I do have it right now. I believe I kept it all week, so yeah, we should get that award. That'll be sweet.
Yeah, so 2 titles, the fastest lap of the week. Pace was really good. Fitness looked really good. Missing last year, like this was a huge week for you.
Yeah.
Walk us through kind of how you missed last year, the injuries you had and everything, and how the hell did you get to back and even better than you were before that even?
So 2023, when I first got on the big bike after Super Mini, I had a crash that kind of caught me off guard. I just landed off a jump and tucked the front end on the landing and slapped my hand on the ground and ended up breaking my wrist right at my growth plate, and they said it didn't need surgery, so they just put me in a cast. So that healed up, but we went in for my 3-week appointment and we saw that it was 20 degrees off. So there's not much you can do at that point. They say you just got to let it heal. So we did that, and then I got back on the bike in December, I think. So I just started working towards the 2024 year, and I did that, and then I was looking forward to all the spring nationals. I got in so start off January 24. My wrist, when I got back on the bike, I thought it was fine. I started riding a corner track, and I felt fine on the corner track, and then I started riding longer motos, 20s, 30s, and I was like, oh crap, 5 laps in, my hand's going numb, and it turns out with the bone being 20 degrees off, it was pinching my nerves. So I was like, well, we either get it fixed now before spring nationals or we get it fixed after spring nationals and skip Loretta. So there wasn't really a chance of me racing Loretta's last year anyways, and I went at spring nationals with that problem with my wrist, and I knew it was going to be tough, and I actually didn't ride bad. That was my first national on a big bike, the spring nationals, JS7 in Springening, and JS7 was alright, I think. Cracked a couple top 10s, almost won a championship. So it wasn't bad there, but just the numbness in my wrist really wasn't in my favor, and going into Springening, I was pretty hyped up, coming off of Freestone. I felt like I could win, and I was doing that, and had a crash at Springening and ended up breaking my tib fib, one of the first motos there. So I had those 2 injuries, and then my leg was a struggle. I got a rod down in my tib fib, and that one took it out of me. It was a pretty big injury. It took a lot to come back from. It was really sore. Took a bunch of pain in that one. It was a pretty bad break, and that one took a minute, and I let my leg heal up until I could start walking, and then I went straight into surgery flew to Florida and straight into surgery with Dr. Berg down in Florida to get my wrist fixed, and they did reconstructive surgery on my wrist and nerve surgery right here and right here, and I was off the bike for about 5 months total with those 2 injuries. So I missed a lot last year, and then I got back on the bike around Loretta's time actually, or so, and started working on a corner track, and then started preparing for Minios last year, and that was about it.
So how did you get, because that's so much time off the bike, like you said, physically I'm sure you lost a ton, mentally it was tough, like how did you work through that and then get back to where you were before? And now, like I said, you even took it a step farther, like you're flying at the test track you're flying here. It's like, how did you get back, and then let alone get even better than you were before?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I mean, I put in so much work just off the bike, even when I had my injuries, cycling every day that I could when I got back from my leg, working everything I could do, even if I couldn't walk. Like, everyone's done it, all the pros, all of them. They put in the work they can off the bike when they can't ride, and that's what you have to do to get back to where you want to be. So I was putting in as much work as I could off the bike, and then as soon as I got back on the bike, we just straight back to work. And then I was working with Gavin Graysick at the time, and I just made the switch over to Styles and Brownie have been helping me out, and it's the last two months, I think. And as soon as I got there, just seeing Jordan, Jalik, Mikkel, Austin, just watching them ride and seeing how fast they are and how hard they work, just trying to lock onto their pace really helped me out. It brought up my speed a lot, and so just working with those guys helped me out a lot. I think that's what helped me out this week. I think just that speed, just latching onto those guys every day and training and learning a lot from them, I think it helped me out a lot this week.
Yeah, it was cool to see Styles up there on the podium with you, and obviously Mike Brown's banged up now with his injury, but you've been putting a lot of work in at the test track. We hear you flying to the test track. What how have you been able to translate that into the racing? Like we saw the Redbud, well, I guess SMX Next Supercross was a little bit rough. I think you had some crashes, but man, like Redbud, you were dominated the first moto. I think second moto you went down, but like I feel like we haven't seen you a ton, but when we've seen you, it's been really good. Do you feel like that way, and do you feel like you've been, translating that from the test track pretty easily to the races?
Yeah, it's definitely a struggle for everyone to translate practice day to race day. You just have to really be confident in yourself and really believe in yourself, because just ride. Just don't put too much pressure on yourself that you want to do good like that. But I did put a lot of pressure on myself this week. I wanted to win every single moto, and I wanted to win both my championships, and I did that. And I don't know. I'm pretty decent at translating it from practice day to race day, I guess. Everyone's different. Me, I guess I translate that pretty good. I don't really know how. I just get out there and ride, and it works. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty good at that part.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Owen and Carson won the moto here. You had some pretty good competition. What was it like battling with those guys, kind of learning their lines, seeing where they're getting better at? And I mean, Owen's been ripping the last couple of years here. What was it like battling with those guys, learning from them, just kind of going back and forth? I feel like, as for media guy, it was fun to watch it. How was it to live it and race those guys?
Yeah, it's definitely cool. Riding with competition's great. Carson definitely whooped my butt that last moto. It was pretty embarrassing, honestly, but yeah. Owen, I think I had that first moto in the bag until I got together with that lapper, but yeah, Owen's a great rider. He rode great all week, obviously bringing home that other title in the 450D class and keeping me honest all week in the 250D class. And Carson, he finally put it together. He's one of the top dogs coming in here. He was one of the big names. Me, him, and Owen, I think, and Vincent were the guys. Yeah, Carson finally put it together that last moto. He whipped my butt. I didn't ride that good that last moto, and yeah, that was my only bad moto during this whole week. So to bring home a second and a championship in the last moto, I think that's not bad.
And then I'm sure you were locked in and focused on the racing. Did you have any highlights off the track? Did you go in the creek at all, get some ice cream? What was the big, fun thing this week for you off the track?
I don't know, I guess hanging out with some chicks and stuff at night, but no, I never hit the cone this week. Maybe I'll go hit it real quick if it's still open, but yeah, I went in the creek about one time, but I was pretty scared to go in there because I had some high expectations this week. I didn't want to get sick or do anything like that, get an ear infection or anything to cause me from not winning or something like that. So yeah, I kept it pretty safe and stayed out of the creek. I went in there one time when I first got here, and that was it. Yeah, just pretty locked in all week, I'd say. In bed by 8:30, sleep around 9:30. So yeah, we were pretty locked in, I'd say.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're following like the pro sport guys. Are you kind of watching them and downloading them? I mean, Temperman was really good. Kay Johnson was up there. Gordon. Are you watching those guys and kind of, hey, these are the lines they take. Here's what they do well. I mean, are you just kind of being a sponge and kind of learning from those guys? And what's it like kind of seeing them and, watching maybe how they pick the gates and how they just do everything, how they cool down before the motos? Like, what's it like just kind of seeing those guys thinking, hey, maybe next year that'll be me? What's it like just soaking that all in?
Honestly, I watched Procross a little bit. Yeah, definitely watch Enzo. He was dominant this week. But honestly, I think I could have been right there in the mix if I was in the Procross with him. Looking at the lap times, they were 2 motos after me yesterday, and the track doesn't change that much in 2 motos. So yeah, the lap times weren't far off. If not, I was a little bit faster, I think, in some of the laps. So yeah, I watched him a little bit. Obviously, everyone watches the Procross just to see and watch and just enjoy watching a class of a bikes race. So yeah, I watched him a little bit, and yeah, I wouldn't really say I learned from him because it's different every time you get on the track. They're on the track at a different time, lines change, and yeah, they weren't really right before me. They were mostly after me. So yeah, I watched Enzo. I learned a lot from Enzo, actually. He's really good at hopping around the track and using the bumps to his favor.
And then I guess what's next for you? Ironman Combine next weekend? Do you know what's after that? Maybe the next couple weeks, or?
I'm not sure what's happening after Ironman Combine. We'll see. I think I opened a lot of people's eyes this week, so we'll see what comes with that. Ironman Combine's up next, and my plan is to go there and win. So yeah, just looking forward to Ironman, and then whatever happens after that happens. We'll see.